You know, 5 years is a long time to really be doing anything. It's my 5th anniversary here on YouTube, and I'm ecstatic. I've said for a long time, I never really expected this channel to ever turn into anything, but it's something that has turned into something. There's a community here, and it's something that I truly appreciate. Even the assholes that are trolling me constantly. I don't want to just kind of wax nostalgic about my time here on YouTube. There'll be a little bit of that, I'm sure, but what I really want to do is take you on a tour of the new game room. You're seeing a bit of it behind me right now. We're going to grab the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. We're going to get some close-up shots of everything so you can see everything that goes in to my new game room. So what do you say? Let's take a tour. Every good tour starts with the entrance. And I have to thank Gary for convincing me to buy this sign for the new game room. See, I do forgive some of the stuff on the floor. It is still obviously very much a work in progress, but here's a quick turnaround. Now let's get into some specifics. So I suppose it makes sense to kind of show off the thing that does most of the filming here on the channel, the thing that has brought us most of the videos, and it's this guy here. This is my Nikon D5600. I love this rig. It's such a nice camera. I use this for not only my still photography, but also for filming videos here. Now, one of the things I very much want to show off is this here. For those of you that don't know, I am a voice actor, and this is my recording booth. So I've got soundproof walls. It's really nice. I've got a camera up here. I'm actually going to be starting another YouTube channel talking about kind of the process of being a voice actor and auditioning and things like that. So I've got a camera up there to film. That's a Nikon Z30. Great little rig. Really, really like that one. It's a great little piece of equipment, and I'm very happy to have that. But yeah, this is the recording studio. Really like it. It's really nice. It's just in a closet, but hey, it works. I'm gonna start out here. Immediately when you walk in the door, to your left are the action figure shelves. Got two of them. Top shelf here is all classic G.I. Joe. This is from the 25th anniversary line, so these aren't vintage Joe. These are just the reissues from, I think, 2008, 2009. I've also got some awesome artwork up here from Rusty Shackles, one of my favorite artists. And then my on-card G.I. Joes that are up here. We got Stalker, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe Renegades, highly underrated series. And my only vintage Joe that I still own. That is Chuckles, my favorite character. He's autographed by Mike Costa, who wrote the G.I. Joe Cobra comic that was releasing at the time. Over here we have the G.I. Joe Classified series. This is the G.I. Joe side of things, and I can't really see it here, but if you look back there, you can see some string art. That's from a group called Walnuts, and I really like them. They do some amazing work, and they made that G.I. Joe sign for me as well as the one on the Cobra side. But I really love these figures. These are 6-inch scale, really nice toys, super good reimagination of the classic G.I. Joe characters. So much so that if you see their quick kick, actually has his chocolate bar, which he's, if you remember the cartoons, he loves chocolate. Doc is the newest figure I have. He looks awesome. He's got a actual gurney that straps to his back. It's really cool. And just like the 3 3/4 inch side, you can't have G.I. Joe on the Classified series without having Cobra as well. These are the classic 6-inch G.I. Joe figures. I really love these Dreadnoks over here. Dreadnoks are kind of my favorite thing from G.I. Joe. I just love them. But the Cobra figures are always cooler, and longtime viewers of the channel will actually recognize that Prophet director, Destro, back there. It's one of the toy review videos I did on the very, very infancy of the channel that I don't really do anymore because they didn't get any views. Down here we have the movie and TV shelf. These are some of my Doctor Who figures. I love this character from Tron. A few things here as well from How to Train Your Dragon, one of my favorite animated movies. We've got Captain Mal here from Firefly, and then some Universal Monsters and a Disney monorail. But not to be outdone, this awesome Creature from the Black Lagoon squirt figure that was a kids meal toy from Burger King back in the 90s. And then my favorite Lucasfilm property, Indiana Jones. Just love these indie figures. They're great. Got the Ecto 1 down there. Here's Kermit as Indiana Jones. But not to be outdone, one of the greatest Muppets of all time and the goodest boy, that's Rolf. Love these Willow figures. If you guys were watching a few years ago, I picked these up at Big Fun in Columbus, Ohio, when Riggs and I went there after the first Korgs convention I went to. And we got the War Doctor here. That Rocketeer cup is from Pizza Hut. We've got a sonic screwdriver back there. That's Sam from Trick or Treat, and then Captain Jack Sparrow. And if you know me, you know I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, and primarily of the kind of the black and gold NXT era, which is what you're going to see primarily represented here. That's my guy right there. It's Kevin Owens, one of my absolute favorites. TJ Perkins, who is Victor's favorite wrestler for a long time. TJP actually wished Victor a happy birthday and congratulated him on getting straight A's one year on Twitter, which I thought was super cool. There's Sami Zayn. You've got Simon Gotch and Aiden English, the vaudevillains there. Tyler Breeze. Samoa Joe holding the classic NXT title. Mick Foley Mankind, who I have met in person and is wonderful. He wore one of my ties that I gave him at a convention as Mankind on an episode of Raw, which was super cool. We got the glorious one there, Bobby Roode. The Demon Finn Balor. This amazing Rey Mysterio as the Flash figure, which I absolutely love. A classic CM Punk here, which is super cool. And I've got him in the Winged Eagle Championship, which I love. The littlest Daniel Bryan Danielson, American Dragon ever. We got Steampunk Becky Lynch. We've got Bayley with one of her Bayley buddies back there. The legit boss, Mercedes Moné. And then Charlotte Flair as well. And this here, hanging off the side of it, is my lanyard from when I attended both the Hall of Fame ceremony and WrestleMania 24 in Orlando. Down on this shelf, we have my Marvel figures. We have the epic superposable Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen here. We got Hawkeye, Songbird, and Olivier Coipel, Thor, and Hercules. And then my actual favorite Marvel figures. These are the same scale as the 3 3/4 G.I. Joe, and I just loved these. I wish this line hadn't died off. I thought this was awesome. I especially like this Guardians of the Galaxy set here. Before they decided to make Star-Lord a doofus, he was actually really cool in the comics. But we got Bucky Cap there, Iron Spider, Claw, Iron Fist, Patriot from the Young Avengers, Super Spy Captain America, which I love, US Agent, and then one of the only HeroClix figures I have on display, the incredible, amazing, phenomenal Stiltman. I just love it because you could add more segments onto him to get him just ridiculously tall. I thought he was super cool. And I know for a lot of folks, Marvel is their cup of tea as far as comic books go, but for me, DC has always been my thing. So here's my DC figures. We got Sinestro from the Yellow Lantern Corps. We got Deathstroke, the Terminator back there. Catman from the Secret Six. This adorable little Larfleeze. I thought he was awesome. My favorite supervillain, Captain Cold. We've got the Riddler, the Question, Nightwing, Catwoman, this badass spoiler figure who I think is super cool. Tim Drake Robin, Impulse, Kid Flash, Barry Allen Flash, Jay Garrick, Stargirl, and Stripe. He was a Build-A-Figure. He was a bitch to put together, but he's so cool. Captain Boomerang, another one of my favorite villains. Guy Gardner, Blue Lantern Flash, Build-A-Figure Metamorpho back there. Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, the Atom and Plastic Man, and then one of my favorites, Jack Knight Starman. If you notice, Jack's got that on his back, and I've got it on my arm. One of my favorite characters. Here we've got my vinyl collection, and this is probably the most telling way to tell that I have a very eclectic taste in music, because I mean I've got Jason's album here, which is super cool, Metal Jesus. We got Fall Out Boy, a George Carlin stand-up album, Rod Stewart, Billy Joel. Let's see who else do we have in here. Prince Purple Rain, which is an amazing album. No Doubt singles, a couple of Billy Idols, Warren Zevon, Iggy Pop. This is legitimately might be a perfect record. I really do think that this is one of the best albums ever. But my musical tastes run everything from kind of 80s metal to punk rock, classic punk rock and modern punk rock, pop, and then probably the strangest things that I love. I love kind of exotica and Hawaiian music. So like all this back here is Hawaiian music because I'm strange. And really because every game room needs one, this is kind of the junk shelf. This is where everything else went that didn't have a place. So I've got my magazines on the shelf here. This will actually expand out when I get some more magazines in. I'm specifically going to be collecting for Sega Ages and Official Dreamcast Magazine and the occasional Nintendo Power that catches my eye. I've got a few strategy guides in here that I've picked up recently, and then it's just yeah, just random boxes, some toys, and that's about it. All right, moving around the room now, we've got, the neon sign that I showed off a few weeks ago that I still love. I think it looks great. Adds a really nice touch of color to the room, honestly. It does give off a bit of an orange glow, but I don't hate it because that is my favorite color. So, that works for me. Come over here, I've got my kind of Uncharted section. These are some of my favorite characters from Uncharted, so I wanted to make sure that they were represented. And then up above the door, we've got the Nate Drake shrine because Nate rules. Down here on the floor, you'll find my TARDIS, which we found at a Home Goods and just kind of holds some games. I've got an old Sega Master System poster that shipped with one of the games that I put up on the wall just because I love that artwork. I think it looks incredible. This is artwork from my friend Brian Roll, who's one of my favorite artists and just such a great guy. We collaborated on some tabletop work a few years back and just became fast friends. And yeah, I think he's amazing. And then up here, another one from Rusty Shackles, and you'll be curious as to see why this isn't in the Mega Man shrine later, but yeah, I didn't have the room. I had to expand the Mega Man stuff out, but yeah, more artwork featuring Mega Man 2 from the brilliant Rusty Shackles. Stop down here because I got to show off my Boston Bruins hat because, they're the best team in the NHL. But let's see here. We've got a Game Boy Play It Loud poster on the side of the shelves here, a hat rack, which was covering up the Play It Loud poster, and a Sonic Advance 3 poster, which I think is really cool. All right, we'll do the top of the shelves now. We've got the Zamian and Zakazenta, or Zamazenta, I don't remember how to pronounce their names. It's this Pokemon Switch Lite from Sword and Shield. We got our Evercade Versus box up there, our Switch OLED box here, the Star Wars Connect Xbox 360, which is still my Xbox 360 daily driver, and this awesome flash hood ornament which magnetizes to your car. This Spider-Man disc was a gift from Hey It's Thor, which I absolutely love and appreciate having because it made that Spider-Man video a lot more complete. We have Henry Hatsworth in the Puzzling Adventure. This is the one that was autographed by my test team, which I love. Spider-Man Collector's Edition's back there, peeking through. And this Toki Retro Lector collection up here, which is super cool. It actually came with a kind of balsa wood arcade, which your Switch can slide into. It's really neat. I'll show some B-roll of that. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Collector's Edition, Switch Sports, Persona 5 Phantom Thieves Edition, my Bruins Funko Pops here, Xenoblade 3, one of the Fire Emblems, and then the other Fire Emblem Collector's Edition back there. That is a statue of Whip from King of Fighters. Here's the CE of Rune Factory 5. The Shantae Collector's Editions I have, the dude, he abides. This is what I call the Friends NES. Whenever I get a sticker from one of my friends, it goes on here because, no better way to pay tribute to him. Here's the CE of Prinny 1 and 2, Exploded and Reloaded. This is a plant that my wife made me. It's fake. That's why it's not dead. And then up top here, because I think it's important, not only the Creature from the Black Lagoon marquee from the pinball machine, but having the Believe sign up from Ted Lasso, because it's important to believe in yourself. Some more Rusty Shackles art here from Lollipop Chainsaw. This is a piece of artwork of Red Monica from Battle Chasers, and I can't remember the artist name who did it, but I picked this up at the Midwest Gaming Classic a couple of years ago. A Justice League Task Force piece from Rusty Shackles, and then a pinup of King from King of Fighters. That is a tribute to Kevin Conroy that my friend Brian Roll did. This is a sheet of original artwork featuring artwork from Cully Hamner from Batman. This is the One Piece print that my friend Brian did based on the live action series. And I've mentioned that I'm a One Piece neophyte. I'm just kind of discovering it. Here's my One Piece poster that I got at Siege. This is a print of Arrow vs. Stardust from SummerSlam a few years ago, 2015, 2016. And then that's Thor and Riggs. Up here, we've got my Stan Lee Funko Pez dispenser, which is the only Pez thing I own. And then we've got some more Rusty Shackles art. We've got Rising Zan the Samurai Gunman, one of my favorite NES games. One from Pro Wrestling here, featuring the Amazon. The smaller version of the Justice League Task Force thing, and I got this because I was the only person who had ever bought that. So I appreciate that. We've got Starman here from Pro Wrestling, and then the awesome cover of the awesome replacement cover of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 featuring Spider-Man and Mary Jane. All right, top shelf up here, we've got the box for the Sega Genesis Mini, my PS2 box, the coffee cup that Thor designed for us featuring the artwork of me, Riggs, Game Dad, and Gary, a couple issues of magazines from when the Red Sox won the World Series in 2004. We've got the Fall Out Boy bobblehead, Mandalorian and Grogu, some turtles, a Hellboy Fist of Doom bank. Back there is a piglet that my grandfather hand carved. A pair of 3D glasses, because why not? Some Marvel superhero cards that Rusty sent me from an art order I did. A Garbage Pail Kid, the Pines twins, Grunkle Stan and Bill Cipher back there. Gritty and his friend the Capybara. That's me and my grandpa. And then some books up there that I'm reading. And now we come to the Mega Man Shrine, which has a lot of stuff on it. I won't try to describe everything here. A lot of these were gifts from people. A lot of these were things that I've picked up over the last couple of years. But, you know, Mega Man's long been my favorite character. And to be able to kind of put together a collection like this that shows off my love of the character is something I really enjoy doing. It's just, he's an important character to me, something that matters. And of course, this is the centerpiece because this was a gift from Jen and Scott from Retro Rivals, and it's just such a beautiful painting and something I will treasure forever. We found these cases at Daiso when we were out west, and I use those for my controllers. But here on top of my honestly shitty little record player is Mothman, because, you know, why not? He stole my catalytic converter in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. I've also got this awesome Mega Man 10 wall scroll back there that Thor and Chris got me at Siege. Those are my Daily Driver headphones. Here's my second monitor, my MacBook that I do all my editing work on. This Carl Fathead, I'm one of only 2 people in the world that has one. Those are my blue light glasses and the Choo Choo Mimic air freshener. And then over here, we've got the plushie wall with Papa Emeritus from Ghost, and then just some other ones over here as well that I really like. And then we've got Sonic holding my noise-canceling headphones and my Xbox One controller. These are all my mini consoles down here. There's some pictures of Baby J playing hockey when he was younger. And then, yeah, so now we need to get to the actual consoles themselves. Up top here, we've got my Saturn, my 3DO, my PlayStation 2, GameCube, N64, Sharp Twin Famicom, Master System, Dreamcast, Genesis 32X, and Sega CD. I do so love this sign. Gary from Rock Solid Productions made this for me, and it sits here on top of my TV, which is where I do all of my gameplay and gameplay recording for the channel. And then down on the desk shelves are the more modern consoles. So this is the Wii U, and I've got my Wii controllers here because I just run all my Wii games through the Wii U. It makes more sense. There's my Switch OLED. There's my Retron 5, which might annoy some people. This is what I do all of my classic game capture on, but it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier than hot swapping between a bunch of different consoles, I'm not gonna lie to you. Here's that Star Wars Xbox 360 I mentioned earlier. There's my PlayStation 3 and my OG Xbox on top of a box of Skylander stuff. There's a couple of Retro Fighters controllers, the Hunters, that I still need to do a review on, and my speed editor for DaVinci Resolve. And then mounted underneath the desk, we have my PlayStation 5 and my Xbox Series X. And if you do like these under desk mounts, there is a link in the description to Glistco. It is an affiliate link, just so you're aware, but if you don't want to participate in that, you don't have to. Just go to glistco.com and you can purchase them that way. Oh, one more thing on the Retron 5. You probably saw it in the drive-by as I was filming, but I recently picked this guy up, which is a 3-in-1 adapter, which allows me to play Game Gear, Master System, and Sega Master System card games on here as well, which is super cool. Wanted to make sure I had these tin signs up. These were a gift from Gary from Rock Solid Productions, and I just think they add a lot to the game room. I think they look incredible. I just really love them. Box art's great anyway, so being able to display that in a tin sign, which I like anyway, is super cool. I also have this cool neon mushroom that Victor got me for Christmas last year, which I really love. And this is how I choose to display my Game Boy Advance games. This is a challenge coin display case. And I had coins in there from when I was geocaching, but this is something where I think they fit so well. And I just think they look super cool in there. And it's nice to have kind of the games that really mean something to me in there. And then we have this cool Sabine figure from Star Wars Rebels from a few years ago. And I realized I blew past a couple of things when I was looking at the consoles that I need to kind of call out. This is a Lupin the Third bust from the anime Lupin the Third. Go figure. This is a Zen Sasquatch from Archie McPhee in Seattle that my wife and I picked up when we were vacationing there a few years ago. That is the autographed baseball from the '04 World Series when the Red Sox reversed the curse. And this is a new Dungeons & Dragons minifigure featuring an elf bard. And I love this guy. This is a 3D printed bearded dragon. One of the things that was imperative for me with this new setup was I needed to have a way to have all of my handheld gaming consoles accessible. And I wanted to make sure I had the ability to charge them all at the same time rather than having to hunt for batteries or chargers or something like that. So unfortunately, that has led to this monstrosity of a power source over here. But up top, it looks a lot better. So we've got my Game Gear, my Sega Nomad, my Vita, my DMG Game Boy, my Game Boy Color, my GBA SP, my original DS, my DS Lite, and my 3DS. Now, it probably doesn't come as any surprise with how frequently I speak of it that the Nintendo Switch is the console I have the most games for by far. I'll be doing a full Switch collection video soon. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you want to see gameplay for each Switch game in the collection? There is over 220 of them. Or do you want just kind of a high-level breakdown of the different genres, different types, and different publishers that I have? Let me know. That there is my binder of 3DO games that I don't have cases for. That is an old VHS from TV productions in high school. It's as embarrassing as you can imagine it to be. That is my paltry Atari 2600 collection, all 5 games of it. And then over here, we have an Untitled Goose Game sticker, and then a couple copies of Henry Hatsworth in the Puzzling Adventure, which will be used as a giveaway for when we hit 15,000 subscribers. And this is super cool too. This is the CD soundtrack from my friend Aldo's video game convention in Connecticut, Algo. This is from the 3rd iteration. The 6th iteration is coming up soon. I wish I could be there, but it's going to be an awesome show, I'm sure of it. Hey look, the geocaching challenge coins that I was talking about earlier. This is my Retro AF Video Games Monthly Coffee Cup, which I just love. Here are the 2 3DO games I actually have cases for, Shockwave and Shockwave 2. Really do appreciate those. Those were a gift from one of my Patreon supporters, John, which I really love, and I can't thank him enough for. John and I used to work at EA together. We actually worked on so much stuff together, now that I'm thinking about it. Holy cow. But my last game in the industry was Madden NFL Arcade, and John and I worked together on that. So the fact that we're still friends and his support is ridiculously important. Just super cool, and really appreciate it. This is my Evercade collection. Not very big, but I do love the console. I think it's a great alternative for folks that are wanting to do retro collecting but don't want to necessarily spend the money, which I get completely. It's a really cool thing to have, and I think they're awesome. I think it's a really fun console to collect for. And then over here we have the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X games. Not a huge collection, but it's all full of games that I like, and that's the important thing. And then over here we have my PlayStation 4 collection, which again, not a huge collection, but it's games that I like, and that's typically how I buy. I tend to not just buy everything, I just buy games that I enjoy. And here is my very, very small PS5 collection. I haven't really played my PS5 all that much, and it's something I'm looking to rectify this year. I had it down in the basement previously, and I just didn't do a lot of gaming down there, so it's nice to have up here now in the game room so I can actually be able to use it. Here is the complete North American Suikoden collection. And then over here is the North American Uncharted collection. On this shelf we have the Sega CD 32X, the single SG-1000 collection I have, which I look forward to getting an SG-1000 eventually, just so I can say I have every single Sega console. But this is the one game I have. This was a gift from Paul, aka Awazrim. That guy right there. But it's just so cool to have a complete in box SG-1000 game, and it's baseball. Baseball's awesome. This is my Valis Collector's Edition. We've got some video game dust sleeves down here for Algo 2, Awazrim, and also Algo 2, holding. Let's see what's in here. We've got
Sega Card Transbot. Owazrim houses Shinobi. And Algo 2 houses Hang On and Safari Hunt. And then there's the rest of the Master System collection. Huge thank you to Tiger Chainsaw for suggesting Zillion. Zillion is brilliant. I will be doing a review and a video on Zillion next month, I promise. Up here is the hockey section, as well as an Evercade and an Ann Bernick emulation device. But this is every release thus far, not counting NHL 2025 because it's not out yet, of NHL games from Electronic Arts, as well as some of the 2K games. We got NHL Face-Off 99 in there, hockey and soccer for the Odyssey, which I don't even own a Magnavox Odyssey. A couple of Super Nintendo games, and then a few more stragglers over here, including a complete in box NHL 95 and my Bruins puck. This has been a lot of fun to add to this year since it is the summer of Sega. Here's my Genesis collection, and there's a bunch of complete in box stuff back there, some loose EA size stuff up here, but it's just been really fun to kind of branch out and try stuff I've never tried before, and I apologize for it not being in alphabetical order. I did some videos on stuff, I just haven't put it back together yet, but we got the 3 Sonic games down there that are important, and Sonic 3 is back there somewhere, complete in box. This is the Axel figure, thank you Aldo for correcting me on that one, and a Sonic toy that I got at Five Below, which is super cool. Here are my DS games, and I really do enjoy the DS. I think that Nintendo really struck something kind of incredible when they created the DS because it's just such a cool game. There are some doubles in here, some of these are empty cases, but this is the DS collection here, and the cases will eventually be occupied by games and then moved on to people that want them. Not a ton of complete in box Game Boy or Game Boy Advance stuff, but there you have it, including the homebrew Reggie's Radical Adventures from the amazing Radical Reggie out in Seattle. Here's my entire Transformers collection, just not a Transformers fan, as well as my 3DS collection. I do love these little arcade machines. I found these at Walmart a few years ago, and they're really neat. They function, which is the greatest thing. Like here's Dig Dug. It's so cool, right? Like I just love it. Those end cap stickers for the Nintendo 64 are featured here on the end of my N64 games. The ones that don't have stickers on them are imports. I just don't have the end cap stickers for those yet, but all the ones that are from the States do have stickers on them. And this display here was printed by Gary from Rock Solid, and those are my favorite N64 games that I currently own. There's my Beat to Hell but complete in box copy of Pokemon Snap, my collector's edition of Assault Suits Vulcan, and then my tiny little Super Nintendo collection, but I really like it. And then over here, fun story about this one. So this picture is a picture of the Stanley Cup champion Boston Bruins from 2011, and it's a pretty basic photo, right? Like it's nothing terribly out of the ordinary. It's something that everyone has seen at least once. All the players gathered on the ice when they won the championship, but the story behind this is pretty great because I got this because the team photographer used to come into the comic shop I worked at in Orlando on summers when the Bruins weren't playing. Over here on the PS3 shelf, got to start things off with my Delirious masked Sackboy, which I just love. Here is some of the One Piece crew. I'm missing one person. And then my PS3 collection, which is not big. I just kind of started collecting and playing the PS3 this year, really? Or last year, I guess. But those are the games I currently have for it, and then for some reason I decided to put the Samus Metroid on here, Samus Amiibo on here with the Save Point 3D print that I did earlier this year. And that is a Donald Duck playing hockey statue that I've had for a long time. That was a gift from a friend of mine in high school that I love. PS1 and PS2 shelf. This is the PlayStation 1 stuff I have collections of, which isn't much. I don't have a lot of PS1 stuff. Honestly, I primarily emulate that just because it's easier than trying to find physical media that's in good shape. There's my Sly Cooper Funko Pop. And this is Big Breakfast Hotcakes, or Big Breakfast. Which one's this? Hotcakes? This is Hotcakes. Yep. This is one of the single greatest McDonald's toys ever from when I was a kid, Hotcakes, who transforms into a little robot. And then there's my PS2 collection. I am nowhere near as fully invested collecting for the PS2 as my friend Wrecked Wizard is, who's going for the entire PS2 set. Be sure to check his channel out if you haven't already. But yeah, again, I just have stuff I like, and High School Musical 3 Senior Year Dance, apparently, because I forgot that was on the shelf. NES collection, now actually kind of a miscellaneous collection here just because there's so much stuff. This is the World Championship NES Edition cartridge from the NES World Championship Edition Collector's Edition for the Switch. That is a laser engraved Super Mario Bros. 3 cartridge that my friend Thor did. Here's some of my Game Boy and Game Boy Color games in a little display unit. Kind of the theme of the day, but I don't have a huge CIB NES collection, but the stuff I have, I like. And I'm just happy to have it. This Zoda's Revenge here that Riggs gave me has a return policy sticker on it from Meyer. So being from the Midwest like I am, I wanted to make sure I had that because that's just super cool. And then here's all my loose NES games, as well as a flask that Drinking Games with Josh gave me, my 2DS, and then the rest of my NES games. Last shelf got to feature the Square Pegs puzzle piece that my friend John, aka Biddy Kong's Quest, did for me. He gave that to me at Southeast Game Exchange last year, and I love it. The Chrono Trigger clock that he 3D printed for me is also downstairs. I'll show that off in a short someday, but this one came upstairs with me. And this shelf is primarily for Famicom stuff, as well as just some kind of Nintendo collectibles. I've got a 20 display unit here for GBA, Game Boy, and Game Boy Color games that flips forward, which is really nice. And then there's my loose Famicom cartridges back there. And then one of my favorite things that I have that I do is I keep all of my badges from every convention I've been a guest at. These go up here on the shelf. This is... it's not something I take for granted, being able to go to shows like this, because it's a privilege, and to be able to represent not only my channel, but to be able to cover it for you guys to show off what happens at these shows is an honor, and I appreciate every single show that has ever had me out. And we'll just do one final turnaround of the game room now that the tour is completed, just so you guys can see everything kind of in a more controlled way and less chaotic than the way I was showing it off before. Apologies for the lighting, it's not great in here, but yeah, there's the new game room. There you have it, my friends, 2024 game room tour in the books. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like seeing around my it's a small space. It's only a 10 by 10 room, but it's decidedly mine, and it's not shared. I can close the door. It's something that I've been able to kind of style the way I want to style, and I really appreciate my wife not only letting me do this, but encouraging me to do it and be excited about the things that I've been doing in here. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything else you want to see about it. If there's anything else you're curious about that I showed off that I kind of just breezed over, let me know. I'd be happy to talk about it. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Thank you for spending 5 years with me here on YouTube. And until next time, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.